We now return to your regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
So anyways, next question.
Well, it's still poetry too, I think.
Yes, it's
still
called the poetry of life.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Life is art. Art is life. It's the poetry of life. It's word is bond. It's speak. You know what I mean? It's these are the things. These
Do
are the
you
central
remember
concepts.
when you realized that?
Good question. I wonder if I have like a real answer. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint a realization. I mean, some you can, like when world peace popped in my head. But like, when did I realize all that? I don't know. It's an evolution, you know? Now it's really solidified that I can like talk about it, and I'm super aware of like what's going on and all that, you know, who I am and what I'm doing and stuff. I get it now, but when did that click? I mean, you know, all right, here's my answer. When the world ended. Do you remember that?
Which time?
2012. yes. Which time? Because yes, whatever. Our civilization has always had this need to do that, right? And so we do it all the time. 2000 and blah blah. Well, 2012. I feel like the 2012 Mayan prophecy shit happened, but in the mind.
Right.
Of course, we didn't die. We're all here, and there's even new people here. But in the mind, I think it happened. We stepped into a new era. Things changed. The world ended. The world as we once knew it. And there is a great KRS-one song. I don't know how to even pronounce it, but it's like some like Mexican word. You got to look up this KRS-one song. It's called like Aztechnical or something like that. It's like his own word. He mixes like Aztec with tech. Just look it up, man. It's produced by Mad Lion. There's a KRS-one song for everything in your life. And so with 2012 and with the Mayan prophecy, he has a song about it. And you're asking, when did I realize all this? I guess subconsciously it was then. Even if I didn't know it then, I knew it later, and I definitely know it now. I'm saying it now. But there have been times in my life in 2015 and 16 where I've looked back and been like, man, that death of the world's consciousness that happened in 2012, I feel like I experienced it on an individual level. You know, I am aware that something changed in me around then.
Right.
I also remember doing an event on like I guess it was May 21st, 2012, which was what was it, like the day that what do you call it in biblical, the revelations? No, where like certain people go up to heaven.
The rapture.
Rapture.
The rapture.
Do you remember that May 21st, 2012 was the rapture?
Yeah.
Right.
And I just remember doing an event that day, and I was also fresh out of a breakup, and so, you know, in my feelings. And I'm a poet, you know, so I was really in my feelings.
Right.
And that had a lot to do. I can't believe I haven't mentioned that yet, but usually you don't mention relationships. But truth is that there was a relationship that like preceded and necessitated a lot of this artistic expression.
As often is the case.
Yeah, totally.
Heartbreak
And,
is a hell of a fucking motivator, bro.
It's kind of like the cliche, like that happy artists are terrible.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like the best artist is a sad, depressed, you know, depleted artist.
Miserable.
Yeah, they basically create the best art.
And I kind of started like that in my poetry. A lot of my poetry was a bit like darker, for lack of a better term. And then, you know, I got more positive over time, and I became aware of your words or your actions. So why would I want to say some fucked up shit when I can say some cool, you say love or world peace or something?
Right.
And that's always so much easier to absorb. And
it's all hip hop too. I'll take it back to KRS-one and stuff. It's all that, right? Now when I mentioned my older brother and all that, right? And a lot of people have these brothers that they go through hip hop with an older brother or maybe an older sister or something, or a younger brother, whatever. Growing up, BDP was always my favorite, and then, you know, KRS-one, the solo artist. And growing up, my brother was always a big Mobb Deep fan, you know, and we liked a lot of the same stuff. And neither of us were all about like favorites, but in general, he was really on Mobb Deep, and I was really on KRS-one. And now, being that the words are like your diet, you know, and you're putting stuff in here like every day, and you got all these tapes. I'm blasting this, he's blasting that, and I move on through my life and become an artist influenced by KRS-one and meet KRS-one and almost kind of work with KRS-one a little. And my brother, in true Mobb Deep fashion, becomes a drug dealer and then a drug abuser and a criminal.
Nah.
And all that. Yeah.
For real?
Totally. And that's kind of what he is now. I mean, he's recovering all of that. He's clean right now.
God bless
but
him.
he had many years
Okay, God bless.
doing that. Like
yeah.
guns, criminal activity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly
Selling
what he
drugs.
was listening to.
Yeah.
he
Mob
was,
Deep shit.
He was actually manifesting what he was listening to.
Yeah, and I'm glad I got to say that on here and stuff. Like, not to put my brother under the bridge or under the bus or whatever, or to get too personal, but I do, even though it's a bit personal, I like that story because it's just, like, it makes a good point. You know, like, just be careful what you listen to.
Yeah.
Or actually be careful of how you take what you listen to.
Right, how you
'Cause
absorb it.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't want you to not listen to Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep is great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just understand what you're listening to. You know what I mean? And learn how to separate it, especially the negative shit. Take it
It's
from
the energy.
heart.
It's the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe as a kid, it's hard to do that though. You don't, as a child or a preteen or whatever, you don't really know how to separate shit.
No, absolutely
you know?
not. You're looking at them as heroes. Some of these,
Exactly.
Sometimes,
So you'll emulate what they're doing, even if it's illegal.
some of the rappers are almost godlike when you're a kid.
Right.
But a track like You Must Learn, I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love learning. Remember, I'm a nerd. I'm gifted and I'm going, dude, I was inspired. It's all hip hop. Like, it was all that 5% shit too. All that brand new being, all that knowledge of self. Like, okay, I'm aware I'm white. I'm not trying to be black. I'm not trying to be any of these things. But I'm learning. I'm
But
learning
nowhere
what they're
in there
saying.
does it say,
Hip hop is not a race.
It kind of is.
Well,
No,
I mean,
hip hop is.
But
No,
And it
hip-hop is a
includes
race.
all
Yeah, yeah,
races.
yeah.
Right. Yes.
true. Okay.
That's my race.
Okay.
Yeah, hip hop is a race.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it's got black, white, Puerto
Yeah,
Rican,
everybody,
all
everybody.
that. It's like the Black Eyed Peas, you know?
United Benetton.
I always thought that. I think I've told you that,
That
before.
would be a
like,
shirt. Hip hop is my race.
yeah.
Or it just says race, box, check, hip hop.
Yeah, true.
Hip hop.
It says
Yes,
black.
sir.
It says black, white, Puerto, blah, 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 and then it says hip hop, and there's a check mark.
Let's
And
get that
just-
merch.
and
Renda
that
Writer, get
encompasses
that popping.
everything.
I have a cousin.
Copyright
and he
that.
actually lives in Long Island, and he's got a
Let me see the lighter.
whatchamacallit, what the fuck do you call it?
Sleeve?
Sleeve.
The
Yeah.
sleeve, and it's all basically hip hop inspired. It's got the boombox, the subway, like musical notes going through it.
Yeah.
And at the end, he wrote "Hip hop is my religion,"
Wow, that's dope.
and I was like, "Wow, you know Max?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's him."
See, I'm
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of
Shout out to
pushing.
Max.
I'm kind of pushing grateful for hip hop.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ties a lot of things, like my love for hip hop and my idea of gratitude,
Yeah.
Right.
law of attraction.
Right.
You know, think about the word grateful.
Hip
you
hop
know?
raised a lot of us.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really
I mean,
has.
all of us, right?
Yeah.
Right here. And we are indicative, we are representative of millions.
Yeah.
Millions.
Absolutely.
That's why it was so great going to that hip hop museum yesterday. Shout out. That was
gotta
great.
go, man.
That was
We
That's
spiritual.
dope.
It was real.
When
and then I
did
gave him
you,
my art
Yeah, I was gonna say, when did you birth the idea for the
for the art, for the hip
what
hop
is
tribute.
the handwritten hip hop tribute?
Okay.
And there's part 1 and part 2, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah. So all right, so I'll give you the story of that, and like the short and the long. Like the short story is like I did my handwritten art tribute to hip hop, first edition in 2018, and my handwritten art tribute to hip hop, second edition in 2020. So that's it. Now the one I did, the first edition, to expand on that, the one I did, the first edition, I did in one sitting. And it took like 9 hours. I did not pee or eat or do anything.
What?
9 hours of writing. Nothing
Had
else.
you pre-thought it?
No.
Okay.
Off the dome.
Uh,
Start at the top left and just write rappers. But now here is the catch. You start at the top left. You write rappers from the top of your head. When you get to the edge of the canvas, you're not allowed to break anyone's name. You can't write Leo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
right.
So you gotta find somebody.
First of all, that's the easy way out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And second of all, it's an injustice to whoever's name you're splitting.
Yeah.
And third, it just looks stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. So my nerd, my inner nerd, my whatever, anal retentive, whatever, I'll identify with that.
ADD.
Even whatever, ADD, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. All those labels.
No, not
really, I'm just being
OCD.
OCD.
OCD. I'm
yeah,
sorry,
OCD.
yes.
OCD.
I'll take
Yeah.
all those labels because you know.
But there's a
here's
certain,
the label
like-
I am, Renda Writer.
Yeah,
that's
but,
all.
But there's a certain like discipline and self-challenge within
Yes.
that.
Like it's fun.
Yeah, like
It's
like
fun.
it's a
I'm doing
puzzle
art.
now.
Yeah. It's a little puzzle. Like here's the riddle. You know, here's the rule.
Yeah.
You got to write rappers. And so when you get to the right side of the canvas and it finishes with Public Enemy, and then you got a little bit of space left, you got to look at that little space and you're like, do I put AZ? Like, you know,
I
like
was
is it
thinking
really
A plus.
small?
Nah.
I was thinking
You know,
A
I'm thinking
plus. Like,
now.
oh, A plus.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? And that every line I encounter that.
Yeah.
So I spent 9 hours in this weird zone where I'm thinking of rappers and I'm like placing them in this Tetris-like fashion, you know? And that's why I'm glad that I'm doing this podcast, because some people are like, so you just wrote rappers?
Yeah.
I'm like, nah,
It's not
dude,
that easy.
That's
I
it.
didn't just write rappers.
That's easy, but even to fill out a list as long as he did,
Right.
is not that easy. Like, you have to have knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You have to
Absolutely.
know hip hop to
So
be able to
many
do
things.
that.
You gotta spell them right.
Uh-huh.
You gotta make sure you're spelling every name right. You got to make sure you're covering your bases. You don't want it to just sound like East Coast. You don't.
Exactly.
you know
I
what
was
I
gonna
mean?
say you
Right.
have to cover the whole,
Yeah.
The whole spectrum.
Yeah.
You got to fill the canvas. You got to do it in a Tetris-like fashion with consideration for the
Everything's
right
gotta be
side
congruent.
rule.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And then you get to a point where you realize, okay, Digital Underground, Lords of the Underground, whatever, longer names, disposable heroes of hip-hoperacy. You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
You have? That's great.
That's a good one.
They're
yeah.
from Jersey, right?
They are from
Tony
Jersey.
D.
Tony D.
Yeah.
Yo,
So you put them on the left side because they take up more room,
Right.
or
But-
more towards the center. When you get to the left side, you can experiment and write whoever's coming to your
Exactly.
mind real quick. But you don't want to waste a short name. Why would I put AZ on the left side when I might need him on the right side?
squeeze
You
it
see what I mean?
Right,
E40. I got to hold on to that in my head somewhere.
right.
This is all in my head. I'm not like jotting them down on a separate piece of paper. You see what I mean?
Right.
Like
so
it's
there
all
was
in my
no
head.
pre-existing list.
No, it's all off the head, but in my head, I'm not allowing myself to just go free with every rapper I
Right.
think of. I have to hold on to rappers in my head that, you know, I got to use him later. No, I got to use him later. Plus, then I got to consider this. I don't want to just get on like a predictable train of thought. I don't want to write Black Moon, Helter Skelter, Smith and Wesson.
And go through
You know
the
what I mean?
whole
I can't.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
I
breakdown.
can't do that. That's
Yeah,
lazy.
yeah,
You see
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's lazy. Like there's a lot going into this art. That's why I'm really glad.
And
I'm doing
did you
this
have
podcast.
a like when you were creating it? What were you writing it on? Was it like, all right, this is where it's gonna start and this is where it's gonna end? Like the size
Yes, exactly.
was determined
the
already.
canvas is the canvas.
Okay, the
I'm
canvas.
writing
It was
it
on
on
the
a canvas.
canvas.
This
Okay.
is real. No, it's not.
Yeah, you can't
digital in
extend
any
it or
way.
shorten it any
No, I
which
didn't
way.
know if it was on a wall or
No, that's what I'm saying. This is on a canvas that's 22 by 28.
right.
Those are the
So that's the
dimensions.
limit. Yeah,
So,
so
it's
you're like,
Tetris.
okay.
It's Tetris. Fit these names
Yeah.
in this canvas.
But in your brain,
in my
Tetris.
brain. Yeah.
so it's not like you're not like writing, or did you like write one line and then write, oh, down here I'm gonna write this line.
No, I have to go in order. Yeah. There's
order.
no jumping around.
'Cause that's part of the challenge.
Yeah. So you're, and this is great. Like this is me. Like as I write, I learn about life. Like
See, but that's the
everything is-
nerd. That's the mathematician, the finance.
all in one.
That's the
Yeah,
hip
yeah.
hop.
It's the analytical and the creative and the hip hop, of course.
And the recollection.
And you know what else it is? It's like the Buddhist monk. It's like the monk in me.
Yeah, because you're also self-challenging.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a meditation, bro. Like through my writing, I've gotten through repetition and writing, I've learned to identify with that. I'm not saying I'm a Buddhist monk, you know what I mean, by any means.
Right,
I just
right.
I say that in quotes, you know,
But
like
it's all
the monk mentality.
a contribution to it.
Yes,
The
it's
hip
part of it.
hop, the KRS-One, the
The
monk.
discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
The metaphysics. And where did I learn metaphysics?
College?
KRS-One.
Even better.
On every BDP album, here you go, let's nerd out. On every BDP album, Sex and Violence, The Blueprint of Hip Hop, By Any Means Necessary, when you open it up, when you take the tape out and you look at the liner notes, he writes a bunch of thank you, and then he writes KRS-One, Metaphysician. Do you guys remember that? Or is
No.
that, man, y'all ain't nerds.
Nah,
Get out.
honestly, no, I don't.
No, I
remember.
feel you. We all, gravitate to a
KRS, I
certain
remember
thing.
BDP was just a little before, like,
Before our time.
yeah, like just a little before my time.
Sex and
how
violence.
old are you?
That's
40.
Okay.
I'm actually older than you.
Yeah, but I also kind of doubled back on some things. You know, like
Yeah,
Criminal Minded,
right.
I was not really hip to Criminal Minded until much later.
Right.
And now it's one of my favorite albums. I can listen to that today. Just put on Criminal Minded.
Yeah.
And there's the track on there called Poetry. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like
yeah, I
it's
remember
just
that.
things like that. And it's Jill Scott coming out as like, I'm poet. You know, like these, and Jim Morrison, poet. You know, Jim Morrison did a solo album. You ever heard of that? It's called An American Prayer. And it's like poetry, but with music, it's with the Doors. But it's just like billed as Jim Morrison featuring the Doors. An American Prayer. But at the genesis of me, the poet, it's me recognizing that, like, oh, look at Jill Scott, what she's doing. And look at what Annie Pop Consortium is doing. And look at what Jim Morrison did. And these people that, you know, got the poetry inside
the
of them.
expression.
Yeah, there's other examples. I can't think of them, but, you know. But
Nas has always been a poet
yeah,
to me.
Nas, for sure. Yeah, just even people that, like, use the word poet. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you use the word poet ever, cool. You know what I mean? That was at the root of, like, who I was in that time and who I am now. Like, if you say poet, I'm like, oh, really? And then, you know, that's why I got this. Like, this is, all right, so let me tell you about this and this and this and this. Tattoos. So, there's a movie called What the Bleep Do We Know? You seen it?
No.
Who's in it?
No, I've never seen
Who's
that.
in it?
Who's
Nobody.
Who's the main character?
I don't really know.
No.
I don't really know. I don't think there is. You just got to see it. But it's more of, I don't know. You got to see it. There's no main character. Okay. But in it, they discuss this experiment. So the movie is how I heard of the experiment. But the experiment you should just look up. And the movie too, if you want to see a cool movie. But there's an experiment by a doctor named Dr. Emoto. Convenient, right? Emoto, like emote. Emote. Yeah. But anyways, that's his real name. Dr. Emoto did this experiment and he put 2 glasses of water next to each other. And on one, he wrote love. And on one, he wrote hate. Like he wrote it on the glass. And then he let it sit. And then he took a eyeglass dropper and he took a little drop out of each one and he looked it under a microscope. The water, the drop of water from the love, microscopically, was beautiful. It was in symmetry. It looked like a snowflake. It was like a beautiful geometric pattern. You know what I mean? The one that said hate, what was it? Asymmetrical,
Chaos.
ugly, chaotic, little cells everywhere, no rhythm, no pattern, no love.
Right.
No kidding.
Now, check this out. Human beings, us, right? Here we are. What are we?
Love.
We can be.
We're the product of
We
love.
can be. But you know what we really are? We're just glasses of water. Because human beings are 70 to 80% water.
Yeah.
So when you get a tattoo,
You're writing on your cup.
yeah, what are you doing? You're writing on your cup. Amen. But yeah, that's what it is. You know, ain't it?
So that's what,
Or am I crazy? You guys see, right? Okay.
That makes
all right.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's when I got this tattoo that said poet in 2006, when I was very much doing poetry, you know, going back to the timeline we were on for a bit. But that's when I realized, you know, tattoos and their role in this whole thing, you know? And I was like, okay, what do I want to be for the rest of my life? The rest of my life. Poet. So at the root, you know, I'm a poet and I'm a guy who believes in words and the power of words. And the words have energy and energy has a vibration and everything vibrates. Physical things. I mean, so you've heard of this like school of thought. I think this is also covered in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know and other like philosophical movies. And science really. Stuff like matter, like the table is like really not there. You know what I mean?
Like
Have you
the
heard this?
physics
Like,
and shit?
yeah, metaphysically and whatever, like on a super zoomed in level. The atom, the molecules or whatever are far enough apart that it's not really here, and it's here because we think it's here, and we manifest it into existence via our belief that it's here and that it's real.
But scientifically, it doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scientifically, it somehow like doesn't make sense and is not really there.
Yeah.
But since reality is something we create with our minds and everything is like an agreed upon reality, like we all agree that we're sitting here in Jersey in this studio, right? Okay,
Doing
cool.
this
So then
podcast,
we
yeah.
are, and we're doing this podcast. This is cool. We're here.
But little do we know.
But little do we know it ain't even real. But see, with that in mind, it's like we're in the matrix, but we're also in control, you know?
Yeah.
So like if you're in control and it all happens via the words,
Yeah.
words are the medium of communication. And actually, that's what I was kind of thinking of a little on the way over here. Like, I did spend about 1 minute thinking, like, what will I speak about? You know? And
I think you got that covered.
yeah. And I think I thought of, like, that. I was like, well, words, you know, I like words because they're our main, you know, they're like our thing, like how we communicate. And ironically, though, they're like number 3 on the list of how we really communicate. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we're communicating before we even speak.
Right. Right.
Just stepping into a room, boom,
energetic
your body
exchange.
language, your look, my
Yeah.
presumptions, your outfit, your jewelry, your tattoos, vice versa, my beard,
Right,
you
right,
know,
right.
whatever,
Right,
all that
exactly.
kind of stuff, your perception and how old is he, whatever. So
These are all things you process before you even say a word.
yes, all that happens before there's words.
Right.
So it's kind of like that. That's what the one thing I was thinking about on the way over here is the irony of it all. Like I'm all about the words and
And
why?
that's the brain, right? Because you just said like the mental perception.
Yeah.
So that's one energy,
Right.
right?
The-
But then
oh.
then there's the like heart energy. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a
Oh,
combination.
It's
Is it
kind of
not?
like he said. It's kind of like your intuition. You can feel like when something's not right.
You know what it is?
That's
Like,
what I mean.
like, let's say-
but you can feel it even though mentally you can perceive it as like this should be okay.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a whole different like second layer of energy.
there's a lot of levels. There's levels to this shit, bro. You know, there's
yeah,
levels.
yeah.
There's levels
Right
to this
up.
shit. But you know what it is? Is I was letting you go for, but then I was like, you know what it is, and here's what it is. It's hip hop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
ain't it? Right? Like
Ultimately.
at least for us, and that's the subject of this podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
this.
And that's how we connect.
yes,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Well,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
hip hop is words recorded. You know, recorded, and you listen to it over and over.
Yeah.
And what you're doing with your art is words written down. So you know, it's just the way that
yeah, and I learned it
it's
from
recorded.
hip hop.
You know,
And
becomes
for like
history.
our generation, for like people like us, really regardless of like race or specifically where you're from, as long as you had access to Rap City or Yo MTV Raps
Yeah.
or the
Or the
Source or the Box
That's the
or
connection.
Rap Pages, you know, or whatever it was in your hometown, as it grew from out of New York and out LA almost simultaneously, and Miami and then Houston and Memphis and boom, you know what I'm saying? And so and Japan and global, it's hip hop, bro.
Worldwide.
It's hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
It's fucking
Yeah, yeah,
hip hop, bro.
yeah.
It's all hip hop.
Like you said, that's
And-
the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our race.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and that's the proof. Show and prove. You know, and that's the tie. Like that's the link.
And if you think
that's the
about it, now
knowledge.
that we just mentioned all that, we might be the fastest evolving race on the planet. We think
and
about
the
it.
most
We're only
powerful.
Yeah.
not only that,
Yes.
exactly the most powerful. We're only
Be-
40 years old. Like the
Right.
race itself is only 40 plus years old.
Well, the hip hop
Yeah.
museum is opening in 2024,
Yeah,
and they're saying
2024.
that's the 50th. So what's 2024 minus 50? 1974.
74.
Yeah. So yeah, I
74.
guess
Yeah.
what's 74? Like a Jimmy Spicer, like a disco
Like-
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
JVC
Blondie.
Force.
Yeah.
Who?
No, Blondie.
Blondie?
Wait.
No.
Blondie.
Well, Blondie, I think was
70.
like 77 or 80.
Yeah,
Something,
yeah.
Oh, and so
Yeah.
thank you for bringing up Blondie and Fab Five Freddy, and that's the link. So I got the art right here. You know what I'm saying?
Dope.
So this is the second edition,
Okay.
which I'm pushing as well as the first, you know, whatever, simultaneously. It's not exclusive. But since I'm now in New York, oh, look at that. It looks perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
Um, since I'm in New York, where a lot of these guys live, I am kind of on a mission to meet up with a lot of them. And I want to make, or words, right? I'm doubling back and correcting myself. So here we go. I am making a documentary about me meeting up
that's
with
awesome.
people
With all the
on this list. And Fab Five Freddy is one that I will meet up with. And he's on here, even though he's not technically a rapper or a DJ
Right,
or
right.
any of that. He's still
But
the
he was
culture,
still
of
hip-hop,
course.
yeah, he's still
Yeah.
And the thing,
He was there in the beginning.
I don't know.
cool-
Curator.
I think he's around here. But anyways, so point is, I know he lives in Harlem. I know he's a man of social media. I know he's active on Clubhouse, and I follow him on Instagram. And he follows me, and he's liked a photo of mine or two. And I hit him up the last time I was in New York, and I was like, I got a piece of art for you, and it's got your name on it. And then I sent him a picture. And what I do with basically all these guys, you know, understanding philosophy, understanding psychology,
human nature.
understanding hip hop, understanding human nature. I basically hit these dudes up and sent them the pictures of the other dudes holding the pics. You know what I mean? Like, hey, what's up? Boom, Red Alert holding it. You know, boom, KRS-One holding it.
Yeah.
You know, so it legitimizes it like instantly.
Right.
They're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't have to say much. So that's another reason I love doing this, and it's just one aspect of what I do. I'm not just the guy that writes love. I'm not just the guy that writes world peace. I'm not just the guy that did that hip hop piece.
Right.
I'm the guy that writes things into existence, and
Yes.
I've written my life into existence, and here it is. I'm on a podcast talking to you about it and showing you part of it. This is part of it.
Life.
But so I want to meet up with, or I'm gonna meet up with Fat Five Freddy. So
Right.
I hit him up. One of the times I was in New York, and I was like, I got this piece of art. I want to give it to you. It's got your name. And then he was like 2 days later, was like, oh man, I just saw this and I'm not in New York. And I was like, oh, actually, I'm not in New York either. I had left. And I was like, but whatever, I'll catch you the next time. This is the next time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I spoke to a dude, and this is crazy, bro. This is how the universe works, right? So, I've been up here now on this trip, like, I don't know, almost 2 weeks. And so I got this idea. I need to do a documentary of me meeting up with these people, and it needs to include my meeting with Fat Five Freddy. And the Fat
Absolutely.
Five, in terms of the storyboarding of it, the Fat Five Freddy meeting needs to be like the climax.
Right.
Like you know what I
Like
mean?
the
Like that's the
centerpiece.
thing.
Yeah.
Because, dude, you're the reason I know about all these dudes.
Yeah.
Or you're one of the reasons.
Right.
You're one of the
Yeah.
reasons. And I also met Joe Claire from Rap City.
Oh, okay.
Dope.
Yeah. Just life has put me
What
in these
about
positions.
Red Alert though? You've met him?
I met him
yet?
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've met him.
yeah. So many dudes, almost everyone, but not everyone. Nobody from Wu-Tang.
Oh,
And none of
Oh,
these
wow.
dudes. No Eminem, no Jay-Z, no Nas, no Dr. Dre, no Be Real,
Yet.
no Snoop Dogg.
Yet.
You'll
Yeah.
get
Yeah, well, no, I
You'll
was about
get
to say
there.
that word, of
Yeah.
course, yes. But none of those dudes
Yeah.
yet. But they're all on the list.
right.
And once I do this documentary, it's on.
Yeah. We,
You know what I mean? And it's about me meeting with Fat Five Freddy.
Yeah.
But
Oh, damn,
So-
I met Fat Five Freddy once on accident.
Tell me about it.
Wow.
I was interviewing Power of Wu-Tang,
okay.
and we were in a museum. They were doing the 25th anniversary of Wu-Tang.
So where was that?
Show. It was in the
Downtown.
city.
Oh wait, was I a
yeah.
part of that? Was it a small thing? I had a piece that said Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
You might have.
Yeah, I think you did.
Yellow with black Wu-Tang colors. I know there was
Probably,
there's lots of Wu-Tang related shows now, like art wise,
No,
No,
it was,
but it was here in New
years
York, but
ago,
I
yeah.
mailed my art up.
Yeah.
I was serious about it.
No, that,
'Cause I
sound,
went.
that sounds like that might have been the
Yeah,
one.
Yeah,
crazy,
it was,
right?
Where the hell was
So
it?
we're already
it was
connected.
on Delancey, right?
Just
On
like I thought I
Delancey,
knew
yeah.
your man, but
Yeah.
dude, the dude had long dress. His name was Efran or something. It was just, I'm telling you,
It's
it's a glitch in the matrix.
Brother
Glitch in the
F.
matrix.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I was
so
like, I can't wait to tell him. And then I tell him, and he's like, nah.
Not me.
I'm like, what?
that happens, right?
Anyways, so yeah, so I am gonna meet with Fat Five Freddy. I just gotta hit him up now. But here's the way I discovered the videographer, like putting it out into the universe. And so that's the other tattoo. It says I'm on the universe's payroll.
Okay.
So that's an original Renda Writer saying, just so you know. All right.
Copyright.
Right here. Well,
Yeah,
it's on a
yeah.
podcast,
It's on a podcast.
timestamp right now. Hey, boom, set it right now. So but yeah, no, it is my thing for sure, and it's how I feel. It's my general philosophy, as are all the sayings on my arm and in my head and in my art.
Right.
That sounds great. That I want that to be a soundbite. Send that to me separately.
Word up.
We got it.
This is the editor right here.
Right? Yeah, take that, bro. What did I say? I am the words, the ones on my skin and in my head and in my art.
And in
Yeah.
my heart.
All of them. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. That's
There's another
that's
one
a
right
bio right there.
Fact.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, so whew. So I want to do this documentary. I'm doing this documentary, and here's the story of how I found the through the universe, because I'm on the universe's payroll. So I've been up here like 2 weeks ish. I don't know, almost 2 weeks, and got this idea. All right, I need to do a documentary about meeting with Fat Five Freddy as well as other rappers, because I feel like I can access lots of people from up here.
Right.
And right when I hit the ground, I met up with Pace One. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. Every time I come to New York, bro, I connect with the energy right away.
Yeah.
I don't know, like if you guys know or understand that, since you're like here, if you take it for granted. I mean, this is not New York, but
Right.
you know what I
but
mean?
We're in proximity.
It's an energy that
you
we
understand
share.
the
Yeah,
energy
yeah,
of
yeah.
New York,
Yeah.
right? Like it's
Absolutely.
strong.
That hustle
It's very
turns on.
strong.
Yeah.
Yes. Now here's the thing, though. It's strong energy. Energy is really does not care about positive or negative.
Right, I was just gonna say that too.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes it could be strong negative energy.
Yeah. But it's gonna be energy nonetheless. Nonetheless.
Correct.
And it's gonna probably be a combo of the both.
Yeah.
So
But you gotta shape that energy.
Yeah. Well, you got to first be aware of it, and this is my awareness of it. You know, that's why I'm saying that. Like, I'm glad you guys are hearing it, and the listeners. Like, that's my awareness of New York energy. Like, if you're planning on coming to New York, if you've been to New York, and if you know what I'm saying, then cool. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But no, if you know what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying right here.
Yeah.
Like, New York has a very strong energy, and when you're away from it, so you relax from that.
Right.
And when you encounter it again, you know, and that's good. It's contrast.
Right.
Learning
Comes back, yeah.
comes through contrast. Yes.
And
You-
adapting to both.
right. Understanding the difference, you know, understanding that in your mind and in your swag,
Right.
in your philosophy, in all that, in everything, the way you navigate, whatever, your understanding of life and geography and what it could teach you, and the vibration, this is real stuff too. It's not like it's something I'm making up. Like the world
No, not
has,
at all. Not at all.
you know, the world has like chakra points, just like a human being.
Absolutely.
You know, because the
Yeah.
world is alive itself, and we're just part of it, like
Right.
cells on a body. You know, so this whole thing, Earth, is this big body. We're part of it. We're little cells on it, but the Earth has like chakra points, so it has parts geographically throughout the world that vibrate with really strong energy or really certain energy of whatever.
Right.
This one vibrates with a heart chakra. This one vibrates with a throat chakra. This one is a negative energy, literally, or whatever it is, you know? The Bermuda Triangle. What's going on there? You know what I mean? Antarctica.
I
What's
always
going on
felt-
there?
I always
Santa
felt
Fe,
like
New
the city-
Mexico.
I always felt like the city was a living organism.
Yeah, well, they all are. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. The whole thing is, but, you know, the city is a great example.
Right.
You know, a great way to learn this lesson, you know? New York. It's just songs like New York by Rakim.
It's a different.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That song.
yeah.
That song.
That song is
Yeah.
crazy. Premier produced that.
So, yes. And here we go on a podcast. Every one of my favorite songs by almost any big rap artist is produced by Premier.
What a coincidence.
Like, do you guys have that same problem?
We-
I used to.
We've
So, all right.
we've debated the premieres.
Give me one of your favorite songs. Here's the Great American Hip Hop Debate. Give me one of your favorite songs in hip hop that is not Premier.
anything Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Okay, great point. But that's it. Wu-Tang is their own
Or you
genre,
can
bro.
go to
Wu-Tang is separate.
Anything Dr.
There-
Dre. Like when Dr.
Okay,
Dre.
well, that's another mega producer.
Tribe.
Right. Tribe.
know?
Tribe. Anything.
Yeah.
Anything
All right. Well, it's not that hard of a challenge, but I just.
but we're nerds.
Yeah,
All right,
So
all right, but here's what I was
we
saying.
had a question like that. Was it last time that somebody
There
said
are a lot of
something
other
like what was the question last time? With TDI, was it? He was like, "Oh, what second album is better than the first album?"
Oh yeah.
And
The
we're
Fugees?
like, because we're hip hop nerds, we're like, "Well, this album."
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
album.
yeah.
And then he's
Fugees.
like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
He was like,
Blunted on Reality.
yeah. We were actually talking
The
about that
score.
Yeah.
The score is
Like,
17 million.
masterpiece.
Yeah. With the Outsiders, with
with everybody.
with the fucking Lauryn Hill
Calvo.
cover of with Diamond D on it with 17 million.
Yeah. Diamond
And Blended on Reality was a flop. But well, here's
Yeah.
my thing about Premier. Okay, when I look at my favorite Jay-Z songs, and when I look at my favorite Nas songs, and when I look at my favorite Biggie songs, that's my real point.
Yeah.
First, I want to let you go, and then I realized, Tribe, Wu-Tang,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre.
But-
There's a lot more than Premier. But my point is, I love 10 Crack Commandments by Biggie. I love Kicking the Door by Biggie. I love Unbelievable by Biggie. I love The What by Biggie.
Right.
All of those are Premier.
Like Kicking the Door was my favorite beat for a long time.
Right? That's
For a
Premier.
very long
Unbelievable. Still probably my favorite Biggie song.
Now, Jay-Z, I love 22 Twos.
Oh,
Did you do
The
that?
Evils.
Well, he didn't produce
Evils.
that. Premier didn't produce that.
No. Okay. Well, I forget some.
did
Well,
the
I forget.
Evils.
I'm sorry.
did.
Can you get my, help me out.
On
on this.
Reasonable Doubt.
He
Premier
did Friend of Foe.
Or on
He did-
just Jay-Z in general. What did Premier
All right,
do?
we'll start from the beginning. On Reasonable Doubt, he did Friend of Foe.
He did
Okay.
the
He
Evil.
did
The
The Evils, and he did Bring It On. Those are the three songs he did on the first Jay-Z album. On the
Okay.
second album,
He
he
did the
did
intro.
Friend of
Go
Foe
ahead.
2.
Right.
He did Friend of Foe 2, and he
He
did
did the intro.
and the intro.
A million.
A million,
A million, yeah.
and one question.
Oh,
And
Million and
he
One
had another
Questions.
one.
Yes.
And he
Yes.
had another one on one.
No, he only had 3 on 1.
On volume 1,
Oh, on volume 1, yeah, he had the intro, Friend of Foe 2.
and then he had another one.
Nah, that was it.
But I get what
He's
Renda's
straight-
trying to say. Like
Yes.
a lot of
Oh, and now
Like a
let's
lot of their best
hip-hop
shit.
artists,
Nas.
their dopest songs are on a DJ Premier track.
But
you know
let's
what I
finish
mean?
it with Nas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nas is like.
You know what's funny
Yeah,
about Nas
yeah.
is like
Oof.
Nas is like,
we
bro.
had a discussion on this podcast that if you were to show somebody what hip hop is and sounds like, you
would
would
be
show
Nas
them
like?
That was one of the songs we talked
Zap
about.
man, that's
Yeah.
amazing, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
And New York State of Mind.
New York State of
New
Mind
York
is
State of
another one.
Mind.
And
Yeah.
2.
1 and 2.
right.
But in
That is a whole legacy unto itself, bro. The New York State of Mind, because Billy Joel had a song called New York State of Mind. Let's start there. Okay, let's start there. Billy Joel. If we follow this tree,
right.
Billy Joel had a song called New York State of Mind, which is where all these guys got their influence.
Yeah.
And then the song by Nas, hold on, this was once like a solid thought in my head, but it's been a while. I've never really discussed this with anyone. I think it's just always been in my head. But I've always noticed this lineage of that. So it starts with Billy Joel, New York State of Mind. And then Nas comes out with the song New York State of Mind, produced by Premier. And he samples Rakim.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
When he says New York State of Mind.
Everything
From
is
the
fine,
song-
but
from
she
the
asked
song
me how come
Mahogany.
I don't smile. I said
Mahogany.
everything
From
is
Mahogany,
fine, but I'm in the New York State of Mind.
Yep.
Oh, that was like uncanny, but yeah.
Yeah. That was from
And then he did the second one
Then he had part 2.
with
New York State of
Alicia
Mind Part 2.
Keys,
Yeah.
right? Alicia Keys
No,
was
no,
on
no.
it?
Oh no,
That
he's
was
talking
Jay.
about New York songs.
No,
No, but that was New York State of Mind part 2.
with
Oh,
Alicia Keys, right?
No, but he's talking about.
No, that's
no, no.
Empire State of Mind.
Yeah, that's Empire State of Mind.
That's
By
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
With
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
Alicia
Yeah,
Keys.
but Nas, you guys don't know?
No, Nas had New York State of Mind part 2, didn't he?
With
Yeah,
Alicia
yeah.
Keys?
Yeah.
No,
You never heard it?
no.
But Alicia
There-
Keys
there-
was on.
I
no,
didn't pick it up.
there's
This is part of my tree that I've imagined.
I don't know
in
if
my
it's like an
mind.
official song, but there's a
There is a song.
there's a
bro.
live version of Alicia Keys playing. It's a live CD. It's like Alicia Keys live,
No,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
There's something more
and she
than
plays
Uh-huh.
New York State of Mind, and it goes into a song that samples, I think, New York State of Mind.
Oh,
something like that.
it goes into the actual Donald Byrd. The ba-dum,
Some
ba-dum,
shit like that,
ba-dum,
yeah.
and then yeah.
That might be what you're talking about. I know.
Yeah.
I remember that because I think I used that for a mixtape.
You're right. And then whoever produced that one also changes the tone of the actual sample to make it sound like two tones.
Some shit.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. You're right. You're absolutely right. He's
But that's
100%
Alicia
right.
Keys.
Yeah,
Yo,
that
hold
is
up,
Alicia
though.
Keys.
Check this out. My girl knows everything. Watch. Google New York State of Mind remix.
Yeah, no,
My
you're
girl
right.
Siri.
And she sings on it. You're right.
Empire State of Mind.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're
Frank
both right.
Sinatra. What? Oh, that's some like remix someone made. Jay-Z. So with then there's
But
the
I do remember
Jay-Z
that.
branch of the tree too, you know?
Yeah.
And what he
Yeah.
did with that concept and everything. It's New York energy. So New York energy is strong, and it is neither positive nor negative. It is in fact both, but it's strong,
Right.
regardless.
Right.
And so I hit the ground and boom, I meet up with Pace One. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
fairly
That's crazy.
easy. A little bit of like back and forth and maybe tomorrow and stuff, a little bit of that, but
Still
But
nonetheless.
that's typical, like nowadays. You know.
yeah, no, but overall it was rather
Quick-
easy.
quick exchange.
And I met up with him and everything was cool. I was like, hey man, what's going on? Good to meet you. You know, here's the art and here's your name and stuff. And can I take a picture of you? And can you point at your name? And I love your art, or you know, I love your music or whatever. And that was pretty much it. You know, all right, I gotta go. And
I love that you do that on your page. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just like you're pushing the content. It's like you're also paying homage at the same time. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
very much so, very much so. And you know
The
what?
appreciation.
This is where I should say this: Hip Hop Appreciation Week
Mm-hmm.
is May 16th through the 23rd.
Okay.
Keep
Putting
that
it
in
out
mind.
there because a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not that I really like to crusade around things or push certain things or have an agenda, because again, I'm just about the power of words.
Yeah.
But I would like to use my words to say that, you know, that, and especially here we are on a hip hop themed podcast. Like, you know, I'm pushing this piece, you know, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm pushing it.
Yeah, no,
I'm
absolutely.
selling it. It's free for the people that are on it. Let me just say that. If your name is on here or the name of your group, it is totally free. Just hit me up.
Right.
Just hit me up. If you're in the New York area, if you're within 2 hours, I've been hitting people up saying that.
Right.
You ever heard of your old Droog?
Of course. I love
Isn't
you.
he great?
These guys, I love you.
You don't like him and you do?
I love him.
He's
I
dope,
love
he's
him
dope.
too.
I
Like
think
he's
he's
one of
dope.
my favorites.
He's super dope to me.
He's insane.
Yeah, he's super dope.
He's insane, bro. That's what I've been listening to in New York. You know what I mean? Like I put on my earpods and it's like the perfect New York music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 40 Deuce.
Yeah.
40
Nah,
Deuce.
he's got a lot of good EPs.
He's New York, bro.
Yeah,
he's
he is.
so
He really
New
is.
York.
He really
He's
is.
very New York.
And he always runs with the same, like,
The
basic,
God Fahim.
the guy, him and Mac Hami and all them, and he always runs with the same producers like RTNC. What was the other guy's name? DJ Skiz.
Okay, I didn't know those two names.
Yeah. He runs with those. He
So,
always works with those producers.
I emailed his booking agent.
Really?
In one of his songs, he shouts out his booking agent. He goes something like, "And my booking agent's name is Jonathan Bricks."
Oh yeah.
Like he just finishes the verse like that, and I'm like, "That's cool." So like that hit me while I'm walking down the street in New York, thinking I need to meet with rappers. I need to do a documentary. You know what I mean? I'm listening to your old Droog, man. That's crazy. I get to say this on air. I don't really like talk to a lot of people in real life. You know what I mean? Especially with COVID.
Yeah, that's what I said today.
Yeah. This guy was. I'm
was
telling
like,
you,
wow.
I'm just
this
letting it
My
all
first
out.
interaction with
was like
people,
an
finally.
animal out the cage. Man.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
not
yo,
usually-
slow down, fam. Like we could talk.
But you hear the lyric and you're like, oh shit, Jonathan Bricks, I can hit him
Yeah,
up.
slow down. yeah. Sorry, I'm just excited to talk to people. You know,
That's awesome. No, we're
because
excited.
COVID got us kind of separated, and I'm just like a wandering artist anyway. So you know, like I meet people when I do art and things like that, but I don't like have friends I hang out with every day or cats that I just talk to talk about nothing. You know, I don't really have anyone I call just to bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't even really want to do that. I'm too on the go. Like,
Right.
that's why I don't have that.
Right.
I've accidentally attracted the lack of that. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I look around, I'm like, I don't really like have a lot of like friends.
Friends.
Yeah, like real friends. You know, I got like old friends. Like I do got old friends. You know, like I got friends, old friends from like high school or whatever. But they're just that. They're old friends. You know.
Yeah.
And like I don't really keep in touch with them and stuff. And maybe I could hit them up. Like maybe if I was like really like I don't know needing something. Hey, dude, I know I haven't spoken to you. You know.
But I'm pretty sure. Their life is totally different.
Oh,
than
way
yours.
different. Yeah. Those dudes, the high school dudes.
Yeah.
See, I have friends from all different times in my life.
Right.
Friends from high school, friends from college, friends from my time on the street in New York selling comedy tickets. Friends from like the art scene in Florida, like when I was hosting all these open mics.
Right.
Friends from when I was doing the magazine. Friends from the poetry scene.
Right.
Comedian friends, rapper friends.
From every period in your life, you have
Yeah.
friends. You've gathered friends.
But lately, I haven't made a lot of new friends. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. Like
Welcome,
it's
new
like
friends.
Drake.
Yes.
Right?
New friends.
Doesn't he say no new friends?
No new
Yeah.
friends.
But like
Yeah,
that's
but-
okay. I'm kind of okay with that. You know, I'm like whatever. Just work on me. Just do me, man. Do your art. Like you'll meet
It's
people
the business
through your
that you're
art.
in, yeah.
You know, yeah.
And you put out a positive energy. You put out, like
Yeah.
you said, you put out love and the power of the word. And
I mean, at the end, I kind of give more than I get. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot.
that's
like,
always the case, though, right?
Yeah. I mean,
When you're the love spreader.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm grateful for what I get, 100%, and I've been getting more financially and otherwise. You know what I mean, like all around. But sometimes the balance is off. It's like what I give, but whatever. I'm giving through my art. You know what I mean? Like I mean that literally. Like with these pieces, like I give these for free to these artists. I'm like I frame them and stuff, or I ship them. Like it's a lot of work. Like really.
Besides the fact that you actually already did the work by making it.
That too. So I spent this second edition, which I have here. This took me like 3 months, and I worked on it on the road. I started it in Memphis, in like a $45 a night hotel with like roaches and stuff. This is hip hop.
Oh shit!
You know? So I started in Memphis in this $45 hotel, like had roaches and stuff, and stayed in a lot of hotels like that in my travels. Like I stay in the van, but some nights it's too cold or some nights it's too hot, or sometimes I just need a shower and a bed and TV, you know?
Right.
And but most of those times I'm not trying to budget much more than 45. You know what I mean? So when I spot those cheap ones, I'm like, it'll work. Yeah, I'll kill a roach if I see it. You know?
Or let them live, you know.
Yeah, or
Push
kick
'em.
them out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
push
you know,
'em.
whatever.
What's more New York than that?
Right,
You're about
exactly.
to smash
Yo,
him.
brother
Like,
F.
is he in there? Brother F.
He quit?
You in there?
But
We made him quit.
But
yeah, it's a lot of work to give these to these
was there
artists.
any rules to part 2?
No rules. Again, the approach on this was just fill the canvas. This time I worked with a bigger canvas and I wrote a bit smaller, and I worked on it over 3 months instead of 9 hours at Starbucks on one canvas.
Okay.
So that first edition, I did over 9 hours, right? It was just freestyle fitting it into the canvas like Tetris. I did that all in one sitting. I didn't pee. I didn't eat. I wasn't even in Starbucks. I was sitting at one of their tables out front.
No,
I didn't
shit.
even buy coffee. I just sat down like
Yeah.
I belong there. And I plopped this canvas on the table, and I started with Big Daddy Kane. I was like, Big Daddy Kane, dun, 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 Dead Prez, I love. We should talk about. Do you like Dead Prez? Great American hip hop debate. Dead Prez, yes or no?
I fucks with Dead Prez.
You fucks with Dead Prez,
yeah,
okay, right?
We just talked about them.
Dead Prez
We did an interview with a girl that
Work with
did a
them.
couple of songs with Dead Prez.
Yeah, we
who's
actually
the
did.
girl?
Ify Jai. Yeah,
I
right.
know her.
She's
That's how
from
you
LA.
pronounce it.
Oh, okay.
She's dope.
You like Dead Prez?
I fuck with some Dead Prez. I'm not like a big
So
fan.
do you listen to Stick? Like Stick solo stuff?
Man? No.
Yeah, Stick of
Stick
Dead
Man.
Prez?
Nah, I wouldn't listen to any.
All right.
I haven't heard any.
You-
So
you're-
He got the workout shit, right?
Yes,
He was
yes,
on
somebody
one of them
knows.
albums.
You know, yeah, the workout. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
That shit is dope.
That Stick and Dead Prez is really as influential as KRS-One. to me.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
That like Stick and Dead Prez, like Stick's solo stuff as well as Dead Prez, all that RBG stuff. And Coach Nim, I don't know if you heard of him.
No.
Coach Nim is like somewhat a protege of Stick. Not really a protege, but like a friend of his and a fellow rapper. And he came out more recently. And he's coming out now, has come out under Stick and his like fit hop genre, subgenre called fit hop.
Right.
So it's like hip hop music to work out to and to run to and to do yoga to and to meditate
actually an
to.
awesome idea.
Like it's all like personal and physical, like self-care fit hop is what he calls it. Stick, like I saw an interview with him or something where he said like he was doing all these like very hip hop like puns. He, you know, like fit hop is a pun. Oh, the lighting guy left.
Oh, brother F.
But he said I'm on my Malcolm exercise.
Yeah,
Wow,
Puns
that's
like
flavor.
that. Fit hop. I'm on Malcolm exercise. But yeah. Anyways, if you got to wrap it up, that's cool.
No.
We went on a lot of different tangents.
No, we actually do have to wrap it up.
if you want to,
we
you
went a
can.
little over.
Said a lot of things, but it's cool to kind of wrap it on this piece and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm doing this documentary, and I haven't titled it yet. But real quick.
Did you start recording it?
No, but I will in the next few days. So here's
Okay.
like the current thing, and then we'll wrap it up.
No.
So I hit up Jojo Pellegrino recently.
Oh shit!
You like him?
See, I fuck
That's
with Jojo's
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
rapper.
I like a lot of his
That's a
stuff.
funny. That's a funny name to bring up.
Jojo Pellegrino.
Yeah, he's
Universe
still doing it
does
in hip
that.
hop though. He's still doing it in hip hop.
He's very much doing it.
Yeah.
Very much doing it.
Yeah.
And
Blood
RJ
knows.
Payne.
I fuck with
RJ
I
Payne.
fuck with Jojo.
Yeah.
You know
RJ Payne is
right?
dope, too.
And they just did a song together.
Really?
And I just hit up RJ Payne.
Wow.
I just be hitting up all these dudes.
Right.
And so here's how I'm on the Universe's payroll. We were talking about this before and we went in tangent, but I'll kind of finish on this. So I'm on the Universe's payroll, and this is how the universe works. When I got here, the New York energy hit me, and I got this idea to do this documentary with Fab Five Freddy, but also meeting other artists. So I reached out to Coach Nim, who I actually kind of know through Dead Prez, and he said, yeah, I can link you with Saigon. And I was like, cool, I can link with Saigon. And
Oh shit! I've been on a Saigon like. Yeah, I've been on Saigon for like 2 months for some reason.
I don't know a
From
whole
the
lot,
first
but-
album to the like 8th album.
So I was thinking, cool, I can meet with Saigon and Fab Five Freddy. And then this guy, Demont Pinder, he's an artist, visual artist, but he does a lot of art with hip hop artists, and he does live art at their shows and stuff. And he's works with Eric B. and Rakim and like all different people. So he works with Chi Ali, and he connected me to Chi Ali, and I spoke to Chi Ali, and he said, I'm in the DMV area. And then I was thinking, I'll just drive to the DMV area and take this videographer guy with me, and we'll go on a little road trip, meet Chi Ali, get a picture of him with the art, and that'll be part of the documentary, as well as meeting with Saigon, as well as meeting with Fab Five Freddy. And so now this stuff is lining up. But who's the videographer? Well, I'm on the Universe's payroll. So I started getting this idea, and once I started to write it, Renda Writer, write things into existence, I'm only about really at the core. Yes, I write
power
love.
of the word.
But yeah, I'm about words. I'm about words. Now, one word I use is love. That's a good word. It's a great word. That's why artists do love songs.
Right.
That's why I like to say that. Rappers do love songs. Country artists do love songs.
Yeah.
Heavy metal artists do love songs. But they also do other songs. When you buy their album, you see that there's other songs. So I do other songs, but love is popular. Yeah, I do a lot of love murals like that. Go to my Instagram. That's
We all
pretty
need
much all you
love,
see
yeah.
right now
Yeah,
because that's what's popular. It works. So people love my love murals. They love the love, and that works. Love is a great word,
That's how
and
it
so
works,
when it
yeah.
comes down to words, that's a good word, and I'll put that out a lot, as well as world peace, and as well as all these people's names. You know, I just want to give them a little bit of props. Like it's a little bit of that, give them their flowers before they, you know.
Yeah, before they can't get them anymore.
Yeah. So Saigon coming soon and Young Z coming soon. I'm going to hit him up and hopefully meet with him when I leave here.
Yeah, I'm going to try to connect you with Elder Sensei. I had a
I already got him.
You already got him.
Yeah. But here's why I'm on the Universe's
But
payroll.
did you get him for the video?
No, that already happened.
Oh,
but I have the picture of it, so I can include the picture in the documentary.
Oh, yeah, true.
All these pictures, all these pictures can be in the documentary as like stills. Do you know Princess Superstar?
No,
that's underground, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know Mad Skills?
No, of course.
Yeah.
Back when he was still Mad Skills.
Yeah, before he was just Skills.
Yeah.
The Arsonist, EPMD. That's Kinetic. I'm gonna meet up with him. He's part of the artist. He's in Staten Island. So when I go to meet JoJo Pellegrino, that'll be part of the documentary.
Right there.
So then we go down the Staten Island ferry, and this is all part of the documentary. We're going out to Shaolin to meet with JoJo Pellegrino, you know what I mean? And this is Fat Five Freddy and Saigon and all these cats, and so I'm gonna meet with them just like I have in the past. Like you see, it's not hard. Like
we should try to connect them with Cortez, because Cortez got linked to Method Man. You know what I mean? Since he never fucked with nobody.
I don't have any Wu-Tang. Like I said, I have no Wu-Tang.
Yeah, and just him. Yeah, of course.
And I have met Method Man like 3 times. And this is kind of funny. One time I met him in Times Square and I saw him from a distance and I was like, oh, that's Method Man. And this is when I was pushing my CD.
Oh, shit.
So I had my like first CD before Eclectic Poetic, which I mentioned, where I did $2,500 worth of credit card debt, right? This was pre that. So this was a limited run CD that I burned when I was living in Queens. I burned this CD and I was selling it on the street, and I had my headphones and I would walk up to people because I learned the hustle from the comedy tickets.
From the comedy stuff, yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's so core. That's so hip hop. That's so comedy tickets.
Back
that's
to
so
the get
New
it
York.
in their hands.
Yeah, that's so hustle. That's so like just sell something. You know what I mean? Like sell something. You're a salesman. And that's the thing. My father's a salesman and my grandfather's a salesman. And we got this like vibe. We're just, at the end of the day, we realize that's what humans are kind of doing. I mean, at least that's what we choose to do. Not everyone is doing that, really. But I feel like me and my father and my grandfather, at the end of the day, we're real cats. We're real. We'll give you the real us. But we understand sales too. Now, they worked for companies selling certain products for the company. I work now for myself, selling myself. And there's really nothing more authentic than that. You know what I mean? Like, might as well.
Who better to sell it?
Yeah, might as well. Sell myself. Like, sell what I do. Handwritten art. Words are power. Words are the visual medium, and the real history of the words was discussed on this podcast. You know, like that's the story. Like this podcast, I'm saving this and sharing this. And,
thank you.
You know, you guys brought it out of me, but it was easy to take out. That's what I'm saying. I haven't been with human beings in a long time. Even pre-COVID, I wasn't living super
with human beings.
I wasn't really down with people. Not exactly by choice.
Thank you for coming and opening up and expressing.
Most of it is this, bro. Most of it is this. And I'm on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook and Instagram.
To like real, but that shit ain't really.
I mean, well, that has power. But I understand it, and
real.
I value the separation. I value real life, you know, and I definitely value like a podcast because it almost forces you to sit down and have a conversation. At least in my life, that's the thing. Like, since I live a life that's a little bit devoid of, you know, like real personal everyday interaction and like someone caring about me and vice versa, you know, someone that I'm not dating, you know what I mean, like just like a close, I don't really have that. Now, I'm not looking for like sympathy on that because I understand the trade-off. You know what I mean? Like this is the life I chose. This is the life I chose, and it doesn't involve a whole lot of that. But it does involve cool things like being on TV and like doing murals in France and like, you know what I mean? Like big things and working with Puma and like big things that are in my bio, things that are not in my bio because I haven't updated it. You know what I mean? But things that are in my, you know, things that I talk about, like bullet points, you know, cool things on my resume of being an artist. Like,
and everything to come potentially.
Yes, and everything that's on the way. And meeting with Eminem and Snoop and Dr. Dre and Jay-Z and Nas and the big cats, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like here's another thing I want to put in the documentary, maybe like trying to arrange a meeting with Paul Rosenberg, you know what I mean? Or like approaching Paul Rosenberg. Like, see, a smart person doesn't approach Eminem.
No.
You approach Paul Rosenberg. You see what I mean?
You go through him.
Like, this is just, you know, now if it's someone low key and you're following them on Instagram and you see that like a real ass person and they're more lower, so to speak, on the totem pole of celebrity and popularity, you know, and it's just like whoever, like a Positive K or Elder Sensei or someone, you know, you can maybe reach out to them and they'll answer. You know, you'll be like, "What's up, dude? Oh, not much. I want to give you some art. Oh, right on. Cool. Here's my address." You know what I mean? And It's that. I
That's
love
real.
Instagram. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Same way we connected.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
and yeah, it's just that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And we connected through
And Jigmaster, I believe.
yes,
Was it?
Jigmaster, that's
Jigmaster, right?
right.
Oh yes.
And I found him
That's
through
the
Instagram.
dude.
Yeah.
I found him through
Shout out
Instagram,
to
and I gave him the
Jigmaster.
art just for free.
Yeah, that was like I said. I saw that piece though. I guess the first.
Well,
piece
I
you
gave him
did.
the first one, yeah.
Yeah,
and
the
I
first
think
one
I have
in his
copies of that in
apartment.
here,
Yeah.
but I have this framed, and this is the new one. But yeah.
Yeah.
And so I
He's
started
got an
this.
art gallery out of his apartment.
Yeah.
Where does he live? Still in the Lower East Side?
Yeah,
or?
still LA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Okay, cool. On what?
Yeah.
Or I don't want to say.
No.
What's that just?
Shout out
But
to
yeah,
Jigmaster.
I'll holler at
Good
him, I'll holler
people.
at him.
Good
Yeah,
people.
shout
But
out
yeah, I
Roland the
put
Curator,
Queen
shout out to
Latifah on the first
Right.
Yeah.
because.
She's a queen.
Ooh, ladies first. Ladies first.
Uh-huh.
Ladies first. Ooh, ladies first.
Shout out to the queen.
And then I put Lords of the Underground second. See, there was some intention on this one, really. Like
Jersey?
it's
Shout out to
freestyle.
Jersey?
Well, no, I'll tell you some of the reasoning. It's freestyle. It's just names. But as I do the second one, there's a little more awareness to the placement of it all.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And the fitting.
Yeah, there's a different mathematics involved. You know, there's
And
a
still
different
the same rule, though?
scheme.
No,
same
no
rule.
no
yeah,
name
yeah.
cutting?
And I did not break the rule. Everything on the right ends on the right.
Yeah.
Did not break the rule. You know, and covered all my bases: north, south, east, west. You know what I mean? Old school, new school. Cardi B is on here. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, you know, is on here. You know, this is hip hop. This is hip hop, the culture. This is hip hop, the
history.
genre,
Yeah.
which is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is just the genre, because you could be like, Cardi B ain't hip hop. And I'd be like, well, I agree. She's not exactly the culture of hip hop, but she's certainly the genre. You're
She
not going
very
to find
much
her on
is.
a rock
She
and
very
roll.
much is hip hop.
Yeah.
What's that?
She very much is hip
Yeah,
hop, I
yeah.
think.
No, I'm saying like the two sides of that. If someone were to say she's not,
Yeah.
like what I'm saying to fine tune it, she is not exactly hip hop culture, but she certainly is hip hop genre.
Right.
Well,
Genre,
actually,
correct.
she is rooted in hip hop culture
Yeah.
for sure.
No, her
For
story
sure.
is- her
But she
story
did not
is
exactly
hip-hop.
blow up through the culture. She grew up grew up through the culture, yes.
Yeah.
Blew up through
Through
the
the
genre
Right.
and the entertainment
And the-
side
and the
of it.
controversy of it,
You
yeah.
know, she's not out there with breakdancers and b-boys in her video. But then
No,
again,
no, not at all.
then again,
But the
a lot
struggle
of
story.
a lot
you
of
know what I mean?
hip hop artists are not pushing the elements.
No.
All the
no,
elements.
those are forgotten.
You know?
I think
But so, like, really, there are hardly any
in
if
the
you think about it.
mainstream,
Or in just
hip-hop
the whole
elements are
history. Like,
forgotten.
who's really pushing all the elements? You know what I mean?
Who's
Who's really doing that?
It's
Besides
been a long
KRS?
time.
Just underground
KRS
cats,
kind of
you
does,
know?
yes, and that's why he's
He
my
had the
favorite.
church.
Yeah,
He had the
that
Church
would
of
be the
Hip-Hop.
answer.
Remember, he had the Church of Hip Hop that I think he started
Still,
around the I Got
Temple
Next
of
album.
Hip Hop.
The Temple
Yes,
of
the
Hip-Hop.
Temple of Hip
Temple
Hop.org.
of Hip Hop, yeah.
And you know, yeah. I know my KRS, yeah, templeofhiphop.org. But yeah, you know, then he's got the book, The Gospel of Hip Hop. And I
Right.
bought a copy, a signed copy from him one of the times I met him.
Nice.
And one time I gave him the art and he was like reading it while he was crossing the street. And he was like, oh, word. And then we went into the club together. Like he was just checking in. It was
Wow.
synchronicity. I just pulled my van. I was going to the club where he was and I was going early. I knew what I was doing. I was going early.
Yeah.
And I was pulling in looking for a spot. And then I found a spot right outside of like the busy downtown Fort Lauderdale. This is in Fort Lauderdale. Like, what the fuck? There's a spot right here. Or maybe it wasn't even a spot. Maybe I got a ticket. I don't remember. That's what I'm saying.
It felt like a spot.
Hey, yeah, exactly. Energy is strong. Sometimes it comes with a negative side effect, like a ticket or your phone breaking or your laptop breaking
But
or
it's
some
worth it.
misfortune.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the
Energy
small-
doesn't discriminate. Like
Yeah.
the New York energy is strong, just energy can be something strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got both negative and positive side. But anyways, so I might have even gotten a ticket at that time. But I pulled in. And all of a sudden, he like pulled in behind me and stopped, and I was like, "That's fucking KRS-One right behind me." And so I got out the van, and then I like looked in the rear view. I was like, "He's getting out." And then I went around the other side of my van and grabbed the art, and then came up around the other side of my van around the time he was coming around his car, and I was like, "Yo, KRS, I want to give this to you." Like,
Perfect.
as simple as that.
Yeah.
As simple as that. You know what I mean? It's an alignment.
I was just gonna say
It's not
perfect
exactly a hustle. Well, all right.
But
here's-
you gotta have the hustle in you to
Yeah.
know,
Get to the alignment.
to grab it,
Yes.
and give it.
timing. to realize the
That's what I was
opportunity.
going to say. It's really a combination of both. And that's like what's wrong about debate. The idea that things are this or that.
Yeah.
The truth is, if you want to eliminate all debate, it is neither. It is a mix of both. It is gray. It is a recognition of this way over here and a recognition of this way over here, and not super strongly identifying with any of it. Yeah. Just be aware of it. Be aware that there's a whole spectrum, and that spectrum is called life.
And discuss it.
Yeah, like discuss it, observe it, participate in aspects of it, dabble in it, be aware of it, understand it, talk about it, you know, recognize it, be conscious of it, and dabble in it. And that's how you can be successful. Find your place in it. And that's how you can do what you love. That's that phrase, you know, do what you love. Like, so basic, right? Well, try it. Yeah. Right. Try it. Because what do you got to lose? I do what I love. Look, I got a whole, this represents, you know, what I love. Like, what do I love? Pace one, bro. I love this shit. You know what I mean?
That reminds me of something
Pace
I
one,
read,
make the place jump like aerobics.
I read,
like E-Dub, I stay focused. That shit is so dope, right?
I read that you said
I manifested this, David Banner, bro.
I read that you said you spoke to your 14-year-old self.
Yeah. Yes.
And
where did I learn that? That concept of speaking to the younger you. Do you know where I learned that?
Law of Attraction? No.
No. The other thing that I'm all about.
Oh, KRS-One.
Yes. I've seen KRS perform so many times live, and like, he freestyles. Don't get me wrong. But he also has kind of like a set that has an appearance of freestyling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's essentially saying the same thing. I've seen him perform in Austin, Texas. I've seen him perform in West Palm Beach, Florida. I've seen him perform in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I've seen him perform in LA. I saw him perform in LA with Slick Rick for $10.
Wow.
Holy shit.
I don't even know why. I don't know why it was. But, you know, why was I in LA at that moment? It's lining with the universe.
No? Yeah, walk by you like, Slick Rick, it's KRS,
yes, $10.
Let's go.
And a friend took me. He paid my ticket. The dude who owns the gallery in LA where I did the World Peace mural, but I met him 4 years previous when I did the first mural ever. Everything's connected. Yeah. When I did that first mural that took me 6 weeks that I did not get paid for, I met this guy. His name is Badir McCleary, and I'm still in touch with him. And kept in touch with him for years. Then did the World Peace mural at his gallery in LA. And then maybe it was during that visit, or maybe even another time when I was in LA, I just happened to see Slick Rick at KRS-One, $10. I tell him about it. He's like, let's go. I'll buy your ticket. Boom. You know what I mean? And so I got this KRS-One energy for some reason. Yeah. And I've latched onto it, like, knowingly and unknowingly. You know what I mean? It's the awareness of things.
Right.
Bringing the unknowing into the knowing.
Right.
Awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
Like consciousness.
Plus, it's
conscious hip hop.
Right.
You know, that label. But, you know, I say it like that, quote. Because I kind of feel now like that's a sham. That was a record industry thing. Because I watched all these podcasts. No, it is.
Shit, they try to, they always try to like.
Talib Kweli himself says that. You know what I mean? Like, he got a podcast.
Yeah.
You seen it?
The People's Party.
Yes. It's great.
Yeah.
And, you know, like a lot of those rappers now, they say like, man, that's just like a thing. You know, like, and you see him interview the game.
What would unconscious hip hop be?
Right.
Comatose?
It's more of like a.
I think it is a thing, though. I think it is a thing. It's, you know, there's something deeper to it. Just like when Jay-Z said, you know, I did a mill, I rhymed like Talib Sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. I always point out to that. Or when he says.
Excuse me, like common sense. Excuse me.
You know, when he says that shit, I always kind of butcher it. So let me try and get it completely right. I lick my lips, LL Cool J. Shout out.
Classic.
But Jay-Z says, I dumbed it down and doubled my dollars. They criticize me for it, yet they all yell holla.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Jay-Z says that.
Yeah.
He says exactly that.
Yeah.
That's profound. You know what I mean? That is so profound.
But to him, that's daily. You know what I mean? Like the critical support.
But I'm saying that's how I started writing things like Love. It's simplified. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Saying dumbing it down is harsh. He just said that because it worked with the lyrics. It sounds good. And that's the other thing I wanted to say. I lost it, but I got it back. So let me just say real quick. A better thing than conscious hip hop would be consciousness hip hop.
Yeah.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's consciousness. It's not conscious. Everyone's fucking conscious.
NWA
is conscious.
That's what I mean. We're all
They're
conscious.
very conscious.
Yeah.
They're poets, bro. They're good rappers.
You'd have to be unconscious.
They're just rapping about other shit.
Yeah.
They're rapping about, you know, That Mobb Deep again, like I said, just Mobb Deep is great, but just
and the beauty of hip hop is that it's every channel, it's every
it represents it all.
You know what I mean?
It represents it all. It could teach you everything.
It is NWA. It is
it's
KRS-One,
religion. Hip hop. You know, see how we double back so many times. That's a good podcast. That's a good conversation. That's a good connection. But that's a focused conversation. But it's hip hop. It's just doubling back many times, and it comes back to these central points. You know, but. For me, you know, especially sitting next to this, absorbing this. And look, I got DJ Quick right here, and I spelled it right. Because on the first edition, honestly, I spelled it wrong. Q-U-I-K. There's no C because Bloods don't use words with a C.
Fact.
You know them rules?
Yeah. It's a different rule.
And so I put him towards the top because I left him out of the first one. Or no, I want to be careful about how I phrase things. I did not leave anyone out because a lot of people like on the internet, and I don't want to say a lot of people, but every once in a while, someone will say, "Hey, you left out, dun, dun, dun. Hey, you left out, dun, la, la, la." And I'm like, how could I leave out anyone?
Right.
Or they say you left la 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 off the list. How is it a list? And let me explain real quick. It's not a list. A list is like a shopping list. There are things that are on it, and there are things that are not on it. There are things that don't belong on it. If you don't need it, it's not on your shopping list. Right. If it's on your shopping list, then you should get it. Right. That's a list.
Right.
It has an ending.
And you probably like it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like if it's on your shopping list?
Yes, it's like it's selected,
like you need
it's
it,
curated.
you like it. It's something
to use
you
a
want.
buzzword, it's curated. It's a list. It has a beginning, it has an end. It's enumerated. It's a list. It can be complete. It could be incomplete. Oh, I didn't put onions. Be compressed
if you.
I didn't put onions on the list. Onions belongs on the list because we need onions. So this is not a list. This is me being an artist. I'm a handwritten artist, and words, whether those words are love or world peace, or they're more like sayings like your comfort zone will kill you, or love is a risk, do it anyway, or they're just names of hip hop people. What they are is my medium. You know, they're like a color. There's something I do on the canvas. It's like a stroke of blue. You know, instead of a stroke of blue, it's the word Pace One and DJ Quick, and the word A Tribe Called Quest. That's like a stroke of blue.
You know what's funny though? I think it's a poem.
It's all those things. You know, they're all. It all sounds very abstract, but I have the right to be abstract. I'm an artist, and I explain it like that. So it's me, like just filling up a canvas. There is no one that I forgot. There's no one that should be on there, or even though it seems like that. Like on the first one, I got a lot of hip hop, like good, you know, hip hop, real hip hop.
Right.
You know, it's mainly that. But I put like T.I. on there. I put Hopsin on there. I put newer people. I put, you know, but of course, like Cool G Rap, Rakim, you know, whatever. Yeah. But I didn't have Lords of the Underground, and there's no reason for that.
Right.
Actually, if I look into my subconscious, if we get deep on this, again, this is art. This is not just a guy writing names of hip hop.
It's emotion.
You know? Lords of the Underground is kind of long. So I had kept keeping them in my head, thinking I was going to use it, and then I ended up finishing.
Right.
See what I mean?
Back to the Tetris.
But the reason you have a part two, you know what I'm saying? Which was what I'm going to say. Like,
that was
you
part
didn't
of the
have
motivation.
it, you know, quote unquote list, you know, whatever people reference it as. It's not a list, but then you have a volume 2, and then you might even have a volume 3 eventually.
Well, I guess it might have to, because people are always going to see things like what it's lacking. But I hate to say that those people inspired me, but in a way they did. The reason I did a part 2 was inspired by many things. Number one, I sold part 1. I sold the original of it. Now I have prints of it, and I sell those, and I give them for free to the artists. But I was like, first of all, it's a good idea. I should do a second one. And I should do one for the sake of Lords of the Underground. And I should do one for the sake of DJ Quick.
Yeah.
And I should do one for the sake of Nikki D. Because she commented, you don't have Nikki D, the first lady of Def Jam?
Yeah. I remember that.
That's what she said. Yeah. Shit, Yo-Yo?
Oh, God.
Here's a quick, tiny story. Yo-Yo, who's down with this.
Wait, Nikki D said you don't have the first lady of Def Jam?
Yes.
Oh,
and she was correct.
Yeah.
She was correct.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I did the second version for the second Nikki D, Lords of the Underground, DJ Quick, who I spelled wrong. And Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is friends with a guy that owns a business in Wynwood, where I'm often at if I'm not somewhere else traveling all over the world. So in Wynwood, where I've done a lot of murals and where I did that first mural, this guy owns the House of Mac, and he was Pitbull's manager before he opened the House of Mac, which was first a food truck, and now it's a brick and mortar establishment. He's very successful. Okay. And he works with artists too, visual artists, and he knows Yo-Yo. And he had my art there, and she saw it, and she sent me a video with her next to it. She's like, "You don't have Yo-Yo on this? Send this to me." There's so many stories from this, bro. Yeah. Then we can do another podcast.
Renda. Yeah. You can't play with my Yo-Yo, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That is what I'm saying. These things. She said this. She goes, "Don't try to play me out." Yeah. She said that. She said that. And then she also said, she goes, "Look here, you don't have Yo-Yo, don't try to play me out." And then she was like, "Don't make me run up on your mama lawn." And then I noticed she had like a lyric somewhere where she said that too.
That hip hop.
And I was like, man, that is great. And so I did that. And so Yo-Yo's somewhere towards Yo-Yo is easy to find. Look, there she is. So I didn't put her towards the top, but I put her on the left, which is also kind of, she's in the left center. Yeah. Yo-Yo, easy to find. Long. See that? K Solo. Everybody. Rockness Monster. Heather B. Everybody. Tony Yayo.
Let's
Exhibit. Funk Dubious. Papoose. Do you guys like Papoose?
Papoose is...
you see him with the NBA jerseys?
No. Did you see him recently with the morning cereals?
No.
Yes, I saw that. The morning cereals. Yes. And the tribute to Biggie, too. You seen that?
No, I missed that one.
That's very hip hop, you know.
Yeah.
He's a nerd.
Yes.
Papoose is a Brooklyn nerd.
Well, that's many things. That's hip hop. That's nerdy. Mm-hmm. That's literary. That's poetic. Mm-hmm. That's poetry. Like that's the kind of thing your literature teacher would assign you in high school.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about that. That's really what a lot of good hip hop is. It's almost like a little assignment. Like your teacher might say, "I want you to write me a little poem, and I want you to use like every letter of the alphabet." You know, think about
like a challenge.
You ever heard that song by Black Alicious? No. Black Alicious, it's got a song like that. Everything that Papoose does sounds like.
Papoose did that. Yeah,
Saigon does a lot of it too.
Yeah, a lot of rappers do this. Mm-hmm. Think about Ebonics by Big L. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is so poetry. That is
Axel Leon from 100 to 1, 100 to
0. Yeah, 100 to 1. Yeah,
22 questions.
Yeah,
Jay-Z, like things. I gave you power. That's like an assignment. Someone would say, I want you to write me a little short story. Like you're in 11th grade English and your teacher says, "I want you to write a little short story, but I want you to write it from the perspective that you're the bullet."
Yeah, that happened. That actually happened. One of my friends, we talk about it often on the show, that a friend of ours, he was asked to write a narrative.
Right.
And he wrote down the lyrics to "I Gave You Power." He
got
an A. He got an A because the teacher, first of all, she was like a 69-year-old English, high school teacher. She don't know who Nas is. But she was like, "This is amazing."
Wait, he quoted Nas, or he acted like it was his own?
He wrote down the lyrics
and
turned it in.
And he said, "Yeah, this is by Joseph so and so."
That's great.
And he got an A.
That's hip hop. That is great.
Nas got him an A.
And Nas,
but do you know the song "Straight Bullet" by Organized Confusion?
Yeah.
Do you know that came out first?
And that was first.
Yeah.
And then Nas, and then Tupac.
Mm-hmm. Tupac.
Well, me and my bitch. Me and my bitch. Yeah.
Yes. Songs like that, bro. That
they're Shakespearean.
Yes. Yeah. They're poetic. They're literature. They're like a high school assignment. They're poetry. They're deep. They're centered. They're focused. They're thematic. Mm-hmm. Like Eminem. Check out Exhibit A would be Guilty Conscience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or, that song is crazy with him and Drake.
Yeah. Like that is. You know what I mean? Like I don't care. How
There's like a narrative behind it. It's not just like people judge hip hop for being mindless. You know what I mean? Right. There's actually a narrative behind it. Well,
that's what I mean. The Shakespearean, like though we don't have modern day.
He says something about that. The song he did with Jay-Z. He says something. I'm not Shakespearean. You know the song with Jay-Z and Eminem?
The Renegade?
Yeah, yes. Renegade.
That. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's a different word. Like hip hop is always amazing to me. That's why I'm into battle rap. I don't know if you mess with battle rap, but it's like the different levels of wordplay and how you can
That's
say
like
one
true
thing and it'll
hip-hop.
mean
right,
four
right.
things, and you're like,
You can
holy
double
shit.
entendre, triple entendre.
And also the inflections you put on it, and the emphasis you put on a certain word,
and that you can say something and like in battle rap specifically, you'll say something and it's relating to a battle that occurred 4 months ago.
But that crowd gets it.
Yeah, but because
Yeah,
you're so
yeah.
in tune, you get it. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah, he
he's
mentioned
referencing this battle.
yeah.
You're like, what?
But, like when Chino XL, you know Chino XL?
Hell
when he goes
yeah.
something like me and rap go back like LL's hairline.
Yeah, now you're picturing it.
You know?
The
And
visual.
then some people call that a diss. Like it's not. How's that
well,
a diss? But that's what I'm saying. You
that's
don't
when the
cool,
ego comes
you
in,
don't.
yeah.
But some people be like, "Oh, he gave
Like,
it."
oh, he shit on the
So hip hop is interpretive.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
open
it
to
is very-
interpretation.
But you know what? Hip hop is so competitive.
Yeah, it's like a sport.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like,
and it's cool to mention people that you know.
Yeah.
Eminem did a lot of that. You know, I can't figure out which Spice Girl I want to impregnate.
Yeah.
My head's dead weight. You know, like just mention people. Be like, I'm the rap whatever. Give me some of them. I'm the rap something, or I'm the black something.
Frank White.
The black Frank White.
Shine with Shine Poe.
Yeah.
Any Raekwon.
What do you mean, Shine Poe?
Like Alpo.
Oh, is that why he
the
became
Harlem
Poe?
drug dealer,
That's
Alpo?
Shine. I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So Shine Poe, he was like.
Yeah.
Didn't he say he was the son of Alpo?
Yeah,
like,
everybody in
fucking around?
RZA,
Yeah, all the
everybody in the
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang. I mean, like Raleigh Fingers,
Yeah.
like you know,
Noodles.
Yeah.
yeah. Everybody's got the something there. The rap
alias.
Johnny
something.
Blaze.
Yeah.
Alias.
Chuck D says that rap is the black CNN.
Right. Right.
You know, it's like all metaphor. It's all metaphor. You're this version of that.
Yeah.
It's microcosm and macrocosm through hip hop. Like we're of the hip hop generation, so I'm aware of that. I'm aware that I'm from that generation. Like, and again, hip hop is like a religion. It's a race. So like I'm aware that I'm white, but you know,
But you're hip-hop.
I'm hip hop
Yeah.
too. You know, and I'm more hip hop than white because white is just something I just was born into. Like I don't even know about that.
You can't control
But,
that.
yeah, at all. So, but hip hop was more like chosen in a way. I don't know. It's just, it's there.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could avoid it if you came up, you know. But anyways, it's the religion, it's the ethnicity, it's the race, it's the identity, it's the central focus, it's the unifying factor for discussion, for friendship, for lots of things.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's also how much time you have in the game, because you could be more hip hop than me, and you know I say, hey, nah, you know I got so much time in the game, and you'll pull out like a file like you know KRS-One or you know so on and so forth.
Show
and
and prove.
even though you're white and
Each
I might
one
be a
teach
color,
one.
you're more hip hop than me because you're obviously been in there longer. Like you know, a younger Italian can be more Italian than an older Italian,
Right.
especially if they came from the old country. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You get what I'm saying?
You're only where you're at, you know, as an individual. You're only you. But through others, through the web of things, through the World Wide Web, literally, and just through the metaphorical web of connectivity, and through hip hop, you each one teach one. You meet the older heads. You
The
meet
older gods.
Yes, you know, and a lot of it comes through that. Like a lot is 5%. Like I'm not 5% by any means, but
No, but we all know of 5%
Yes, we
because
know
of
of it
hip-hop.
through hip hop,
Yeah.
and that's very interesting. It's one of the only religions really that came through hip hop. If you think about it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I can't really think of another religion that like came mainly through hip hop. Later, people have done stuff like gospel hip hop, you know, and things like
Yeah,
that.
but
But like
that's
KRS-One
more like
has an
God
album.
Body is God Body the same thing?
Well, God Body's a 5%.
Yes.
But-
Did you know KRS-One has an album called Spiritual Minded? It's his gospel hip hop album. I'm telling you, he has
Oh, like
whole
Criminal
albums.
Minded.
Yes,
Oh,
Criminal
shit.
Minded,
Yeah.
and then he has one called Digital Minded.
No
he
shit.
has
Oh,
albums
dope.
like that we don't even know about. But you know, yeah. So it's what was I saying? So yeah, 5% knowledge of that. You know,
But I think
you learn a lot.
when they do gospel hip hop, it's more like on purpose, where
it's not as cool.
our hip hop wasn't 5% hip hop. It was just hip hop, and they would sprinkle in these lessons.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And you know that
it
was
wasn't
just,
like exclusively
right. It
Yeah.
wasn't on focus. Like,
Yeah.
oh, today I'm gonna
Yeah,
teach
and
it.
it's interesting to see how those cats evolved, like the cats like Brand Nubian,
yeah.
and you know whoever.
Wu-Tang.
You know who I
did a lot of
love?
it.
I don't know if you guys are hip, but X Clan.
Oh shit, yeah.
They used to call everybody
Seriously,
sissies.
they're in my top 5. Like Brother J, in my top 5. That dude.
You know who I used to like? Poor Righteous Teacher.
Yep.
fucks with
I
them
sent
a
my art to Wise
I
Intelligent.
had that CD.
He lives in Miami.
Yeah?
Yeah, and he's like around Miami, and I
That's
sent him the
dope.
art. I'm still waiting for him to send me a picture of him with it.
Yeah.
But yes, I like Poor Righteous Teachers. I sent it to Wise Intelligent. I haven't reached out to Brother J, but Brother J is really like in my top 5, like for real.
Nice.
Like I don't really have like you want to do those questions? I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
yeah,
want to
yeah,
wrap
yeah.
it up, or with
Back
those?
to the wrap up.
Oh, yes.
That just reminded me.
Go
I
ahead.
figured a top 5 or something
Yeah,
just triggered
no.
me. But I don't want to take you too far off your path. We were going deep, but
No, we've
that's
gone
the
through
philosophy
this
of
and
hip-hop.
beyond this and in
Okay.
and out of it.
But that's
no.
one thing you haven't done. If you want to do that, if you always do that.
We're gonna do the 10 shots. We're gonna do the love song
Okay.
of the week.
right.
Before we do that, thank you for
Yeah,
coming.
no problem.
Thank
Keep you guys on
for
track.
sharing
Appreciate
with
you,
us
man.
your energy, your stories, everything.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been
Um,
really fun.
Yeah,
Just
thank you for
talking.
being here.
Absolutely.
Let's do 10 shots and then we'll do that and then we'll do the wrap.
All right, 10 shots with VSOP. Like I said before, these are just questions, rapid fire. You just answer. We'll go back to them when we're done. And they're basically based on today's interview and previous episodes that we've done.
Okay.
All right, so here we go. 10 shots. Number 10. I know this is the answer to this one, but I got to ask. KRS, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim.
Like my favorite out of those 3.
Pick one
KRS.
of them. I knew it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll go quicker. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem.
KRS, Rakim,
Number
Big Daddy.
9.
KRS. All right, go.
Number 9. Marley Marl, Primo, or Pete Rock.
Primo.
All right.
Yeah, you already know. Covered that.
Number 8. Boys in the Hood, Juice, or Menace.
Juice.
Juice. All right. Number 7. Best era in hip hop, 80s, 90s, and 2000.
90s.
All right.
Ooh.
Number 6. Wu-Tang or Tribe Called Quest.
Wu-Tang.
Nice. Number 5. Bob Marley or Jim Morrison.
I can't. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. You gotta pick one.
Yeah. Jim Morrison.
All right, cool. Number
That's a tough one.
Yeah, they're both.
Number 4. Queen Latifah, or Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill.
All right. Number
That's
3.
tough.
Number 3. The Chronic or 2001.
The Chronic.
All right. Number 2. Big L or Big Pun.
Big L. Ebonics.
All right. Number 1. The one that started it all. Who's the best MC in hip hop? Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Nas.
I knew you was gonna say
It's
that.
I'm
I
always
knew that.
surprised. Nas is the god, bro.
You know what? All
But
right,
I'm
do
always
this.
surprised when somebody says Nas, only because I think Jay-Z said the lyric.
Who's the best MC?
Yeah.
Biggie, Jay-Z, and
Yeah,
Nas.
yeah. So it
Nas,
became a
yeah.
thing. So it's like
Yeah.
a question for your podcast.
But
so
anytime
it's a
Nas,
thing.
it's like, oh, no.
Well, that was our
But
first
here's-
Well, he's a
episode.
poet. He's
yeah,
gonna say
no,
Nas.
Nas the GOAT,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, exactly. He's the one
Like,
that
he's a
pushes
poet.
the word
Oh, yeah,
poet.
Brendan.
He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
street poet, streets
Yeah, yeah,
disciple.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like Jay-Z a
Yeah.
little bit, Biggie maybe. I don't know if he ever used the word.
No.
But Nas has used the word poet many times
Oh, he
and
called- yeah, the thug
identified
poet.
as a poet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably why
More
it's my
Nas
favorite.
than Tupac,
But here's the thing:
I
you
think.
could go to YouTube and just type in Nas unreleased, and you'll find
A plethora.
like hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, Biggie unfortunately is dead. So his catalog
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah,
Jay-Z
exactly.
was very productive and still is, and Nas was very productive and still is. But I feel like in some ways Nas was maybe a little more productive and has maybe a little wider of a catalog. Like I don't think you can find hours and hours and hours of stuff that'll blow your mind from Jay-Z.
you'll
Like,
find some stuff.
And of course his hits are
I've gone
amazing.
down that rabbit hole, and you'll find
A
like
little bit.
some stuff that maybe was
old
left
stuff.
off of this album.
Yeah, something he did
or
with
left
Big
off of
L or
that
something
album, yeah.
old, you know, and like with Children of the
Like the
Corn.
Dead Presidents 3, you'll find
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But Nas, bro, you'll find.
you'll find whole projects.
Yes.
like
Yeah.
You'll find
like Tupac when he died, that they had
Bro,
Machiavelli
you'll find like
15
an
and
hour
shit.
and a half clip that says "Best of Nas Unreleased Volume 5."
Yeah.
and you're like, "Holy crap!"
Yeah.
There's
So
all
are
these
volumes?
Yeah, and they're all like an hour plus,
Yeah.
and they're
Wow.
crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you could just go on a Nas tangent for like months.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
and
for-
that's the
Yeah, you-
soundtrack of the city.
And
Put that
you'll-
in your headphones and walk around Manhattan,
And
or
you'll
your old
learn,
Droog.
your
know?
old Droog. Shout out to your old Droog.
So I sent a message to Jonathan Bricks.
Yeah.
He shouted him out in the rhyme, and then I went to your old Droog's profile, and he had your Jonathan Bricks right there. So I sent him an email, but I haven't heard back. The other day I hit him up, and CL Smooth's manager, and Pete Rock's manager, and maybe one other person. but I still need to hit up Saigon and Fat Five Freddy and get this thing together. Oh, it's what I was saying about I'm on the universe's payroll. I got this idea in a little bit of time I've been here, under 2 weeks, and I started typing it, but I was having all sorts of problems on my laptop and the Wi-Fi and the phone, and my storage is full, and my Gmail is full, and my iCloud is full, and my phone is almost full, and I got a new phone, and they swapped it out for the wrong phone, which had a smaller, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of,
it's a lot of shit.
It's quote negative stuff.
The hurdles.
Yeah, little things that comes with it, right? Like not stuff I talked about a lot here, but I'll mention it like right here. So like a lot of that while I'm trying to type up, and I'm like, man, I'm just trying to like type up this idea, and then whenever I get some time, okay, I just settled down at this coffee shop and they're open, and I got an outlet, and I got some food, and I got some coffee, and I got Wi-Fi, and I open Word. All right, I'm just gonna write. You know what I mean? And I do that for like as long as I can before they say like, sir, we're closing or whatever. And then I get a rare opportunity to do that again somewhere else, you know? And it's like, I got all these stops and starts. I'm trying to type up. I thought I had to type up like the fine-tuned synopsis of what the documentary would be. I wanted to type up like a treatment.
Right.
To be professional about it.
Right.
And it was very hard to get it done as like a transient, you know, like running around New York and like just the pace of life getting in the way and all these technical problems. Like they are problems, but I surmount them like, hey, whatever. But they're problems. Small, first world problems. Yeah. But you got to pick your problems. You ever heard that kind of philosophy? I don't know who says that, but like we all got problems, so pick yours. Yeah. If your biggest problem is your phone and your laptop and your Wi-Fi, you know what I mean? But so, what was I saying?
You got around it. You made it happen.
The
surmount those things.
But the documentary you're writing up.
Oh, right. So what I'm leading to is this. I'm on the universe's payroll, and so this is how the universe works. So I never really got to type up the treatment that I wanted to,
right?
Because everything was getting in the way.
Right.
But one day I'm on Instagram and I'm scrolling, and I just see a guy standing there with like two like kind of retro cameras, like a black dude holding like two like retro type 8mm, I guess you call them or whatever, and he's in like a hallway, and I'm like, you know, I double tapped it. I'm like, seems like a cool dude, and maybe he'd want to do a documentary or something. And I go to his page and he does like film and stuff, and he's Esoteric Theater in Brooklyn, and I'm like, all right, cool. And he might like hip hop. Not that I want to assume, but you know,
right?
It's likely. And I hit him up. Hey, I have an idea for a documentary. Hit me up. Then he calls me and he's like, you know, I said like, call me Wednesday or whatever. And he's like, yo, man, it's crazy. Like it's always that. It's always that. And that's when you know you're doing it right. Yeah. He's all like, it's crazy that you hit me up because like I've been a fan of your work for a while. Wow. You know what I mean? Like it was just bound to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I mean?
As it's meant to be.
Yeah. And so I didn't get to finish typing it up all formal. I wanted to finish it.
But you have it here.
Yeah. Yes. And I have it here, and I brought it out here. And the way I put it out here was by trying. Even though I didn't finish, because I wanted to get it all typed up and perfect, and then I wanted to print it out at Kinko's so I had it physically.
Right.
And I also wanted to have it as a digital file that I could quickly email off to anyone that explains exactly what I'm doing. It says like the Hip Hop Appreciation Project in quotes, pending title.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all professional. A documentary series by Renda Writer. And then I kept trying to like painstakingly come up with this perfect like topic statement. The documentary follows artist Renda Writer as he travels throughout New York and meeting up with known hip hop artists that are mentioned in his handwritten art tribute to hip hop. It includes the climactic meeting with Fat Five Freddy. You feel me? Like boom, that's it. Yeah. 2 sentences. See what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that was the whole thing.
Yeah, like it takes a while to like sculpt that out, you know?
Those 2 sentences will take you a month to like.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
exactly.
and it took me like a while, and I never really finished, but the universe took hold of that energy, even though that energy was not solidified in the form of a finished Word doc that I can email out or print out at Kinko's. In fact, I didn't need to. All I needed to do was scroll on Instagram, which I do when I'm bored, which I do when I'm uninspired, you know, like when I'm on the toilet. So, and when I think things aren't going to just come at me, but they do. And they often come through, quote, random moments. Like, all you got to do is scroll through Instagram and be a conscious Instagrammer. Like things that you fucking like. You know what I mean?
Don't just
and
like
follow hashtags that you like. And don't fall into thirst traps. Because Instagram's already rigged to show you mad girls. Is it just me or?
No, it's not.
Like, I just see hot girls everywhere.
It's definitely the algorithm.
I don't like fall for it. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, I'm not even clicking this. I'm not even falling.
KRS-One, when you met him and you parked your car and you saw him and you had your art.
Yeah.
It's luck, but it's also you were prepared for success.
Well, so
all the preparedness led to that moment, and it was luck, and it was also serendipity at the same time.
Like it always comes down to quotes. Like, you ever heard the quote like luck favors the prepared?
Yes.
Or something like luck is preparation and timing.
Yeah.
It's these concepts. Yeah. Like, I always keep that in mind. Like, okay, so I'm all about the words and blah blah, and the the hip hop and the poetry and the words and the repetition of words and the isolation of just single statements. Your comfort zone want to kill you. I'm on the university's payroll. Whatever it is. But also the list. Some things are lists. This is not a list. Like I said, it's not a list. This is just hip hop names on a canvas. There are some names that did not land on the canvas because there's only so many dimensions. Yeah, it's a finite thing.
And so many brain cells with memories. Like
So some things are a list. You know what I mean? Some things are a list. And in my poetry days, and I'm still a poet. That's why it's on my arm. I'm still a poet in here. But on my days of being active as a spoken word poet, performing, doing poetry, I had a repertoire of like 30 something poems, original poems that were on my CD too, and that I would perform. But I had one that was it was a list poem. That's like a genre. When you get deep into poetry, like my exposure to poetry came through hip hop, and then I went down like a poetry rabbit hole, looking at it from like a literary perspective, haikus, sonnets, things, like
the subgenre.
Like I'm saying, like assignments. Write a poem where you're the bullet. Boom, Nas. Like it's that. And so then there's like a thing called and then there's acronyms. Acronyms are so big in hip hop. KRS-One, knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. Kane Asiatic, nobody's equal. You know what I mean? Like that's for whatever reason, early hip hop really attached onto the power of acronyms. And that is how KRS-One, via the law of attraction, attracted his wife. He was with Miss Melody for years. Then she passed away. I think they broke up before or whatever. But his current wife, G. Simone, is like all about the acronym. And she calls herself an acronologist. And she does like spoken word that's like acronym based. And I think she has like a solo song of her own on one of these many KRS-One albums that like y'all need to get deep into, because his catalog is 10 times deeper than you think.
Right.
It's not just those first albums on Jive or whatever, Right. It's today. That song is called the album is Between the Protests. Came out like 2 months ago. And you feel the relevant title, right? That's where we are, between the protests. Exactly. It's so crazy, right? Yeah. But hip hop teaches you a lot. It comments on a lot,
Well, he's the teacher,
reflects a lot, and on so many levels, it's just KRS-One. Like I enjoy an opportunity to just jokingly, constantly refer it back to him. Or I'm not really joking though. Like it's real, like
the influence.
It's just something. It's something I like attached onto this KRS energy. Like it's not like I'm some super fan. I'm not like a stan. Like I have met him, but I didn't like freak out. You know what I mean? I just was like, what up? This is what I do. And I love what you do. Right on. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like I didn't have time to be all like, huh. I mean, I'm not gonna like act like I didn't notice my pulse pick up, you know what I mean, and like my mouth get dry.
Still a fan.
I'm a fan. So I do meet lots of people, but I did notice physiological things.
Motivate you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Certain people do give you a different energy and a different.
His energy is insane. That's what I'm saying. It's like not just the music, bro. If you gotta meet this guy. He's not a human. Like his energy is bigger than human.
Right.
Plus, he's a bigger dude physically. I would say he's like 6'2", maybe. And he just like wears black all the time, and usually like wear a hat or something that makes his like, crown expand more. You know what I mean? And he comes from the crown, and he's a Leo like me. Like it's just some energy. Like he was born around mid-August. I'm August 17th, and he's a Leo, and something about it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like standing. It doesn't even feel intentional. It feels like I'm on this vibration, like cut from a similar cloth or whatever, on a similar vibration. Like, why do I keep meeting him? Like, I mean, I get it. I'm a fan of his. I keep meeting him because I keep going to places where he's at. You know what I mean? You know, I do meet him and stuff.
What attracts you there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
What's
something. It's just like he's my favorite artist, so to speak. And then you know, my brother Mobb Deep, and like we all, you know, and I pursued a life that allowed me to be open to things like that. Like you could love hip hop. You could be a dude that grew up, you know, in the hip hop generation like us, that their religion is hip hop, their race is hip hop, and their favorite artist is Cool G Rap. But they never meet Cool G Rap. They never manifest a life like Cool G Rap. They never go to a Cool G Rap concert. They just live a life and they become an accountant or whatever. Now I'm not dissing them. I don't take my tone for that. I'm just saying their life, they did not live a life that was open to the possibilities of manifesting a life via their interests and their passions, and then figuring out a way to incorporate it into life, and then figuring out a way to monetize it,
building life around
it. You know, and like sculpt a life around it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And I
love on your glass, just like your art, over and over and over.
Who did that?
The type of artist that you are today, you know what I mean? And I think that's a perfect segue for the love song of the week.
Oh, is that what you're going into? Oh, you were about to say something.
That was good.
On the list. Love song of the week. Okay, go ahead. Anyways.
Brother F got that tuned up. And matter of fact, because we're over like 3 hours, let's
Joe Rogan style. No, it's cool, man.
Let's do the quick sign offs, and then we'll just fade out on the love song of the week. So again, Renda Writer,
thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your brother Diaz.
Yes, to the OP, you know what it is, Great American Hip Hop. They back in it, you know what I mean? So we here.
Brother Blood.
Brother Blood, live from Wynwood this week, this episode. Much love to you, Brother Writer. Yo, appreciate you, man, for coming through.
Yes.
Following you for a minute. I love your stuff, and just a simple fact that you base kind of for your love for KRS-one, and it just happens to be that the acronym is Knowledge Reigns Supreme. I want to put that out.
Yeah, it has rained down right over here, you know? Like that's the message. He put it out there and I just like caught it, you know?
And it continues to. As always, shout out to Brother F and Straight Fuego Studios. Shout out to everybody checking in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Shout out to everybody checking in on YouTube. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to everybody following us on the socials. As always, chin up, chest out, carry yourself with honor, carry yourself with pride. This week's love song of the week is actually Mary J. Blige, featuring the poet Nas and the brother DMX. So prayers again up to the brother DMX. Brother F.
Oh, and can I say this? You know what today's date is?
4, 3, 2, 1?
Yes.
Yeah. The end.
Countdown.
Well, it's like the countdown date, and then think of the song.
Countdown, yeah. And carry yourself with honor, carry yourself with pride. The Great American Hip Hop Debate Podcast, episode 59. I am Brother Burnz, and somebody hit my music.